Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. In today's lesson, we're looking at vocabulary related to work. Let's go to the intro. Now, as I said, today's lesson is looking at vocabulary or words that we use to talk about work. Okay, this fantastic concept that we all have, that we go somewhere and we spend our time making money for other people and we get a little bit of money for ourselves. This is the concept of work. Okay, now first thing we do when we get out of bed in the morning and we hop in our cars or on the bus and we go to work, we can clock on. We can clock on. Now, clock on means that you register when you go into your place of work. Sometimes it has the idea that you're working in a factory and you clock on, and when you leave you clock off. But even people that work in offices somehow have their times controlled in some way, shape or form. So we can use this word clock on and clock off, just meaning to start and to finish work, okay? Knock off also means that you finish work. So if somebody asks you, what time do you knock off work? And you say 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever. It's the time that you finish work. So the time that you knock off work, okay? Now, there's a concept nowadays in work which is flexi time, that people have a more flexible timetable in order to start at different times or finish at different times of the day. So this concept is known as flexi time. Okay, work can be full-time or it can be part-time. A full-time job meaning that you spend all of your working hours in the one place normally, and a part-time job meaning that you work for 3, 4, 5 hours per day or maybe even per week in a specific job. So full-time work or part-time work. You can have a day job, you can have a night job. So a day job obviously is one that you work during the day, and then a night job is one obviously that you work at night. Like at the airport there would be a lot of night jobs, for example. We can also work in shifts. So a day shift or a night shift, and a shift is normally because the company's open for a long period of time. Maybe the company works 24 hours and the workers are working shifts. So a shift can be 8 hours, boom, 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 3 8-hour shifts. So we have a morning shift, an afternoon shift, an evening shift, or a day shift or a night shift. Overtime. Okay, a lot of people work overtime, means that they work extra hours. Sometimes overtime is paid, sometimes it is not paid. So overtime is the extra time that you work every day that is extra to your official timetable. So if you work officially from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you don't finish every day until 7, it's because you're doing overtime. Now, at work we have a lunch break. We can also have a coffee break or a tea break, a morning tea or an afternoon tea break, as we say in English. But we have a lunch break or a lunch hour. We can take a day off. We can take a day off work if we want to, if we're sick, for example, or perhaps we have to go to a school meeting and for the kids and we decide to take a day off. Maybe we take a day off because we are sick. If the illness is prolonged, we might need to take sick leave. If you are pregnant and you stop working, you take maternity leave, okay? But in general, what you're doing is you are taking time off work. Taking time off work. Now, maybe your job is quite demanding and you have to meet deadlines at work. Maybe you have objectives that you have to meet as well. Maybe you have a heavy workload, meaning that you have a lot of work to do every day. You have a heavy workload or a light workload if you don't do much. You can also have long working hours. Okay, long working hours. This country that I'm in at the moment has very long working hours. People spend a lot of time working, not necessarily for overtime, but they spend a long time at the office, so they have long working hours. A lot of people nowadays take early retirement. Their companies give them the option to retire early, so they take early retirement. If you're unlucky, you can get the sack. It means that your company terminates your work contract and you get the sack, okay, or you get fired. It means that you no longer have a job at that company, so you get the sack or you get fired. And you can also be made redundant. Be made redundant. If your company decides that your position is no longer necessary, you can be made redundant. So all of these words can help you to describe and talk about work. Thank you very much for watching the lesson. Remember, if you have a question or a comment, please leave it below. Don't be shy. I love to receive comments, whether they are good or whether they're bad. Just leave a comment if you like. Please also remember to share the video on social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google+. Share the video. I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye.